This is a pleasant surprise for all in Ghana, but this has been tracked because we did not expect to specifically tackle this one. The change in the name from performance management to partnering for performance really doesn't mean much. But what is significant for us is that it's the messaging. Performance management has some connotations of control in the hands of the supervisor who has to manage your performance. You know what I mean? Performance management, somebody has to manage your performance. While partnering for performance empowers both parties that they are mutually accountable for the achievement of the said objectives. So that is a very important departure point, which we used to leverage on the other partnership-wide processes like our promise strategy. So World Vision Ghana developed a performance framework to align with our promise, which we call EGO's framework. EGO's framework has been a rallying point for challenging staff to think anew, to think and act afresh. So EGO's is an acronym that stands for efficiency, agility, grace, love, execution, and speed. These are very important attributes for performance. So against this framework, we actually encourage staff to work towards achieving some level of excellence, because we created an award scheme. Every year, we bring staff together to recognize those particular individuals who have excelled in any of those areas. So, back to the question. Performance management has some strong connotations, and it also brings us some fear when it's time for your performance appraisal. Because you feel like, I don't know what my boss will say. But we had to demystify that along the way. So we developed a series of awareness training processes through what we call staff enhancement programs. This is done twice a year, where we allow staff just to relax and then raise questions about where we are going, how things are going, and how they can co-create the direction of World Vision Ghana. This is a new culture because it allows management to be subjected for review by the staff themselves. So it becomes a mutual responsibility. Partnering for performance, in our view, is just a journey or a dialogue of alignment of our actions against our set performance goals throughout the year. And this culminates in two important conversations. First conversation takes place at the beginning of the year, when individuals or the staff are asked to set their own performance objectives. What will I do to make a contribution to the strategy of World Vision Ghana? And this is a question everybody has, and every head of department has. So every year, individuals put together their plans for the coming year, and then they discuss with the supervisor, and some adjustments are made to bring harmony the expectations of the supervisor and the employee. So together, they embark on this journey of now talking, dialoguing over to what extent are we meeting our objectives along the way. And at the end of the year, you have this other conversation where you now are looking at the whole journey and say, how did we go about it? And what are the gaps? And why those gaps? Sometimes you need to also identify those gaps so that you can intervene accordingly. Some of those gaps can be made through training, and therefore it becomes a joint responsibility of the employee and the employer, in this case the supervisor, to look for solutions to address those performance gaps. That's why partnering for performance in World Vision Ghana has been demystified to really be something that everybody looks up to, because it's a dialogue of alignment, as I put it, of our performance against our performance goals, to which both the actor and the supervisor are held accountable. You can say it's no longer performance management, but we are now talking about partnering for performance, and yet the practice is the same. So it doesn't mean much. But for us, we wanted to begin to tackle the root cause of the problem, which is the mindset and the behaviors around it. How do supervisors behave, and how do staff behave towards performance, partnering for performance or performance management, whichever we. But if you have a supervisor that keeps record of the wrongs of a staff throughout the year and doesn't mention them, and then they wait until the final day, then you create a culture of fear in the staff, so that when it comes to performance reviews or dialogue or discussion, then the staff will be afraid because they don't know what their supervisor is going to say. However, partnering for performance requires ongoing dialogue, where if things don't work, you bring it out. If things work very well, you commend and encourage the staff. And so, at the end, there are no surprises. The final conversation is just a summation of what you've been talking about throughout the year. And that is the culture, that's the mindset change and that's the behavior that we want to promote in this new dispensation. And that's the difference. And again, there are also there's also additional value to this dialogue, in a sense that the managers or supervisors also look at holding conversations with the staff in terms of what is possible, what's your career pathing, and from this we also develop the pool of talent that we can deploy every time there's an opportunity or there's a higher position. These are staff that perhaps need special attention because they are performing very well, and before too long they will become redundant in those positions. And the beauty of it is that this is, again, shared widely and transparently. It's uploaded in the system, so people see. Even the performance appraisal or partnering for performance documents, they are uploaded in the system of our people, and everybody can access that anywhere. So again, this is another important thing that World Vision Ghana has been doing lately, and probably this is what is driving the results of our voice survey as we saw it.